Boeotia, sometimes alternatively Latinized as Beotia, is one of the regional units of Greece. It is part of the region of Central Greece. It was also a region of ancient Greece. Its capital is Livadeia, and its largest city is Thebes. Geography. Boeotia lies to the north of the eastern part of the Gulf of Corinth. It also has a short coastline on the Gulf of Euboea. It bordered on Megaris in the south, Attica in the southeast, Euboea in the northeast, Opuntian Locris in the north and Phasae in the west. The main mountain ranges of Boeotia are Mount Parnassus in the west, Mount Helicon in the southwest, Cithaeron in the south and Parnitha in the east. Its longest river, the Cephisus, flows in the central part, where most of the low-lying areas of Boeotia are found. Lake Copius was a large lake in the center of Boeotia. It was drained in the 19th century. Lake Elykia is a large lake near Thebes. Origins. The earliest inhabitants of Boeotia, associated with the city of Orchomenus, were called Minians. Pausanias mentions that Minians established the maritime Ionian city of Teos, and occupied the islands of Lemnos and Thera. The Argonauts were sometimes referred to as Minians. Also, according to legend, the citizens of Thebes paid an annual tribute to the king Erginus. The Minians may have been Proto-Greek speakers, but although most scholars today agree that the Mycenaean Greeks descended from the Minians of the Middle Hellenistic Period, they believe that the progenitors and founders of Minian culture were an autochthonous group. The early wealth and power of Boeotia is shown by the reputation and visible Mycenaean remains of several of its cities, especially Orchomenus and Thebes. The origin of the name Boeotians may lie in the mountain Boeon in Epirus. Some toponyms and the common Aeolic dialect indicate that the Boeotians were related to the Thessalians. Traditionally, the Boeotians are said to have originally occupied Thessaly, the largest fertile plain in Greece, and to have been dispossessed by the northwestern Thessalians 2 generations after the fall of Troy. They moved south and settled in another rich plain, while others filtered across the Aegean and settled on Lesbos and in Aeolis in Asia Minor. Others are said to have stayed in Thessaly, withdrawing into the hill country and becoming the Perioikoi, though far from Anthela, which lay on the coast of Marlis south of Thessaly in the locality of Thermopylae. Boeotia was an early member of the oldest religious Amphictyonic League because her people had originally lived in Thessaly. History. Boeotia had significant political importance, owing to its position on the north shore of the Gulf of Corinth, the strategic strength of its frontiers, and the ease of communication within its extensive area. On the other hand, the lack of good harbors hindered its maritime development. The importance of the legendary Miniae has been confirmed by archaeological remains. The Boeotian population entered the land from the north possibly before the Dorian invasion. With the exception of the Miniae, the original peoples were soon absorbed by these immigrants, and the Boeotians henceforth appear as a homogeneous nation. Aeolic Greek was spoken in Boeotia. In historical times, the leading city of Boeotia was Thebes, whose central position and military strength made it a suitable capital. Other major towns were Orchomenus, Plataea, and Thespiae. It was the constant ambition of the Thebans to absorb the other townships into a single state, just as Athens had annexed the Attic communities. But the outlying cities successfully resisted this policy, and only allowed the formation of a loose federation which, initially, was merely religious, while the Boeotians, unlike the Arcadians, generally acted as a united whole against foreign enemies. The constant struggle between the cities was a serious check on the nation's development. Boeotia hardly figures in history before the late 6th century BC. Previous to this, its people are chiefly known as the makers of a type of geometric pottery, similar to the dipylon-ware of Athens. In about 519 BC, the resistance of Plataea to the federating policy of Thebes led to the interference of Athens on behalf of the former on this occasion, and again in 507 BC, the Athenians defeated the Boeotian levy. 5th century BC. During the Persian invasion of 480 BC, Thebes assisted the invaders. In consequence, for a time, the presidency of the Boeotian League was taken from Thebes. But in 457 BC the Spartans reinstated that city as a bulwark against Athenian aggression after the Battle of Tanagra. Athens retaliated with a sudden advance upon Boeotia, and after the victory at the Battle of Enophyta took control of the whole country, taking down the wall the Spartans had built. With the victory the Athenians also occupied Phocaea, the original source of the conflict, and Opuntian Locris. For 10 years the land remained under Athenian control, which was exercised through the newly installed democracies. But in 447 BC the people revolted, and after a victory at the Battle of Chaeronea regained their independence. In the Peloponnesian War the Boeotians fought zealously against Athens. Though slightly estranged from Sparta after the Peace of Nishes, they never abated their enmity against their neighbors. They rendered good service at Syracuse and at the Battle of Arginae in the closing years of the Peloponnesian War. But the greatest achievement was the decisive victory at the Battle of Delium over the Athenian army, in which both the heavy infantry and the cavalry displayed unusual efficiency. Boeotian League. About this time the Boeotian League comprised 11 groups of sovereign cities and associated townships, each of which elected one Boeotarch, a minister of war and foreign affairs, contributed 60 delegates to the federal council at Thebes, and supplied a contingent of about 1,000 infantry and 100 cavalry to the federal army. A safeguard against undue encroachment on the part of the central government was provided in the councils of the individual cities, to which all important questions of policy had to be submitted for ratification. These local councils, to which the propertied classes alone were eligible, were subdivided into 4 sections, resembling the Pitichinaccio of the Athenian Council, which took it in turns to vote on all new measures. 2 Boeotarchs were provided by Thebes, but by 395 BC Thebes was providing 4 Boeotarchs, including 2 who had represented places now conquered by Thebes such as Plataea, Scolus, Erythrae, and Scaphi, Orchomenus, Hysiae, and Tanagra. Each supplied 1 Boeotarch. Thespiae, Thisbe, and Eutresis supplied 2 between them. Haliartus, Livadeia, and Chaeronea supplied 1 in turn, and so did Acryphnium, Copia, and Chaeronea. 4th century BC, Boeotia took a prominent part in the Corinthian War against Sparta, especially in the battles of Haliartus and Chaeronea. This change of policy was mainly due to the national resentment against foreign interference. Yet disaffection against Thebes was now growing bright, and Sparta fostered this feeling by insisting on the complete independence of all the cities in the Peace of Antalcidas. In 374, Pelopidas restored Theban dominion, and their control was never significantly challenged again. Boeotian contingents fought in all the campaigns of Epaminondas against the Spartans, most notably at the Battle of Leuctra in 371, and in the Third Sacred War against Phocaea, while in the dealings with Philip of Macedon the cities merely followed Thebes. The federal constitution was also brought into accord with the democratic governments now prevalent throughout the land. Sovereign power was vested in the popular assembly, which elected the Boeotarchs, and sanctioned all laws. After the Battle of Chaeronea, in which the Boeotian heavy infantry once again distinguished itself, the land never again rose to prosperity. Hellenistic period. The destruction of Thebes by Alexander the Great destroyed the political energy of the Boeotians. They never again pursued an independent policy, but followed the lead of protecting powers. Though military training and organization continued, the people proved unable to defend the frontiers, and the land became more than ever the dancing ground of Ares. Though enrolled for a short time in the Aetolian League, Boeotia was generally loyal to Macedon, and supported its later kings against Rome. Rome dissolved the league, but it was revived under Augustus, and merged with the other Central Greek federations in the Achaean Synod. The death blow to the country's prosperity was dealt by the devastations during the First Mithridatic War, Middle Ages and later, save for a short period of prosperity under the Frankish rulers of Athens, who repaired the Cataphthra and fostered agriculture. Boeotia long continued in a state of decay, aggravated by occasional barbarian incursions. The first step towards the country's recovery was not until 1895, when the outlets of Copius were again put into working order. Archaeological sites. Orchomenus in 1880–86. Heinrich Schliemann's excavations at Orchomenus revealed the Tholos tomb he called the Tomb of Minyas, a Mycenaean monument that equaled the Tomb of Atreus at Mycenae itself. In 1893, A. Derrida excavated the temple of Asclepios and some burials in the Roman necropolis. In 1903–05, a Bavarian archaeological mission under Heinrich Bull and Adolf Furtwängler conducted successful excavations at the site. Research continued in 1970–73 by the Archaeological Service under Theodore Spyropoulos, uncovering the Mycenaean Palace, a prehistoric cemetery, the ancient amphitheater, and other structures. Pejorative term. The Boeotian people, although they included great men like Pindar, Hesiod, Epaminondas, Pelopidas and Plutarch, were portrayed as proverbially dull by the Athenians. Probably for this reason, Boeotia came to be proverbial for the stupidity of its inhabitants. Administration. The regional unit Boeotia is subdivided into 6 municipalities. These are Aletos, Distomo Ararakova, Antikyra, Livadeia, Orchomenos, Tanagra, Thebes. Prefecture. Boeotia was created as a prefecture in 1836, again in 1899 and again in 1943. In all cases it was split from Attica and Boeotia Prefecture. As a part of the 2011 Kallikratis government reform, the regional unit Boeotia was created out of the former prefecture Boeotia. The prefecture had the same territory as the present regional unit. At the same time, the municipalities were reorganized, according to the table below. Provinces. The provinces were Livadeia Province, Livadeia; Theva Province, Theva. Economy. Boeotia is the home of the third largest pasta factory in Europe, built by Misco, a member of Barilla Group. Transport. Greek National Road 1 E75 Che-E-Ni. Greek National Road 3 S.E. Sen W.N.W. Greek National Road 27W Southwest. Greek National Road 44 East. Greek National Road 48 W. Natives of Boeotia: Bacchus, Corinna, Epaminondas, Gorgidas, Hesiod, Luke the Evangelist, Narcissus, Pelopidas, Pindar, Plutarch,